David, you've asked me what goes through my mind when I'm making a video. I really don't have a good answer for that. What I would say, though, is I never have a narrative in mind. If the narrative happens, it's a pattern that I recognize after the fact. My working methods parallel more closely what an abstract expressionist painter might be interested in, where you have color and gesture, the gesture in video being the actual motion of objects. Textures and sound comparing with textures visually. These are the things that create the basis of my video and what makes me even interested in the things that I'm capturing with usually my iPhone.
Jan, the reason I asked that question was because several people from around the country that have looked at what we've done so far on the gallery website asked me that question. They were curious because they looked at your art and my photography and were surprised to learn that I think both of us kind of start from the same place, but our finished product looks very different. In that regard, I think that I do look for similar things when I'm out with my camera. Color, texture, natural abstractions in the landscape, and that really comes from spending time trying to do landscape photography and realizing that most of the iconic photographs of practically any place I've been, Acadia, the Grand Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, have already been taken a million times. And so I look for little intimate abstractions. And then later, when I have that photography home on my computer, it becomes a process of then thinking, well, how can that image evolve? What can it become?
Abstraction is important to me as well, and you can see that in some of the work. The common multiples video that I did that has been showing in the gallery window for all month so far was influenced by the fact that the coronavirus is making us have this window display as opposed to having an in-gallery display. It changed the way I thought about video. I knew that I did not have access to audio with the window display. So that meant my visuals had to be very bright in color, actually moving in an interesting way. The textures and rhythms would need to capture people as they're walking by. I think of all the videos I've done, that particular video in its simplicity, in its kaleidoscopic effect, its sense of multiplying, it sort of satisfies my conceptual idea of I'm living in a time of the coronavirus, but at the same time it satisfies an idea about sometimes we want ideas to spread, and the best way to do that is from person to person. So you could look at that as a video that is expressing something sort of terrifying about the coronavirus, but at the same time I want it to say something very beautiful about how we share our ideas and our love of each other, particularly at this difficult time of divide in our country.
The time that we're in right now with coronavirus, in particular for me, the need to do something artistic, something of value to me, something beautiful, is just a way of, another coping mechanism, I suppose. Elliot Erwitt has a phrase that I've always lived by, and that's all art should be beautiful. And I think that's what's driving me right now.